Well, I believe money is important, but central banks won't control it.
Okay.
Reagan pretty much understood this. Reagan was a gold standard advocate, and he understood, and a lot of people believe Volcker effectively targeted gold when he overcame inflation in the 1980s. Inflation, when Reagan assumed office, was 15-20% a year. Interest rates were spiking. People were predicting peak oil, peak population, peak food. Famine and plague was prophesied. And
people forget.
Reagan was remorselessly optimistic, and he was willing to accept Volcker's terrible recession of the early 1980s in order to overcome inflation and restore the soundness of money.
Right. And thanks to your book that he read, right, when he
joined. Yeah, he read Wealth and Poverty. You know, when I wrote Wealth and Poverty, I didn't understand money as well as I do today. But I've now written 6 or 7 more books on money and economics, and 15 more books overall.
Right. And you know a few things about money. Yeah. And so again, if people want to learn your calls on some of these monies, there's a free report we've recorded and that they can download below, londonreal.tv/reboot. The things that you talked about in Wealth and Poverty, which Reagan went ahead and implemented, was this concept that lowering taxes and reducing the size of the government would promote the economy. I know that's probably a really simple way of saying that.
Well, I actually made a more aggressive statement than that. Everybody believed that.
Okay.
What I said was lowering tax rates, increase revenue, and allow you to expand the government if you want, if that's the best thing for you to do. You can't expand government by raising tax rates. Raising tax rates just inhibits the private sector and reduces economic growth and progress. So I said, lower tax rates yield more revenue. And the World Bank, a guy named Keith Marsden at the World Bank, did quite a good study that showed that taking all the economies of the world, countries with low or declining tax rates, grew their governments 3 times as fast as governments with high or rising tax rates. And the reason the countries with low tax rates could increase their governments 3 times as fast, government spending, was that their private economies grew 6 times as fast. And this is the rule. This whole idea that our problem is austerity, that we're spending too much, and if we just raise taxes to pay for our government spending, we'll balance of some budget or balance some ledger in heaven, and we'll prosper again, is just completely incorrect. That strategy is futile, and so even I think that most government programs, really most of them, have lots of bad effects and probably are net inflict net damage to the economy. So I mean, certainly retrenching government is a desirable thing to do, but that's true regardless of what the tax rates are. And what you want, these are 2 separate challenges. There's no relationship between government spending and tax rates. You raise tax rates in order to expand government, and government shrinks because your economy collapses and you're no longer capable of achieving your government program.
Why is that so hard for us humans to understand, that raising taxes or being austere is the complete wrong way to stimulate an economy? Why? Is it because we have this mentality that our mom and grandma said you better save? And
no, it's because I believe that it's a combination of envy. I mean, people want to tax the rich. I mean, this is what leftist parties constantly, they pretend that the rich are somehow avoiding taxes and they need to pay more in order to redistribute resources from the rich to the poor. It's all that redistributionist idea that was Karl Marx's great mistake at the time of the Industrial Revolution. That was our final human achievement, and from then on we just redistribute wealth. And today it's believed that all the wealth we need is in the coffers of Google and Facebook and Walmart and whatever, Alibaba, and that now we just need to redistribute the existing wealth, Amazon, Bezos's wealth.
Right.
And Bezos wants to anticipate these demands by
setting up the global warming fund, right?
Yeah, right?
But that's flawed because, like you said with Marx, he forgot the fact that we must continually innovate as a culture. We must learn new things, test ideas, like you said.
Yeah,
and capitalism gives us the chance to do that. So let it run is what you're trying to say.
Yeah,
let it run as it should.
Right. That's right. And the human race constantly faces big unexpected challenges. I mean, now the coronavirus is a threat.
Where capitalism could help there.
Sure, absolutely. I just came from Seattle a few days ago, where I met with Matt Schultz, who's one of the great biotech geniuses of our era. And he has 4 companies he started that address various opportunities in biotech, making biotech into an information science rather than a chemical science, and reprogramming human bodies to produce what they need to overcome many such perils as coronavirus and other. And this is but this capitalism will solve these problems. Government can't do anything about it. The poor Chinese government is thrashing around trying to quarantine people, and maybe that will work for a while. But ultimately, if you're going to deal with viruses and plagues which continue to recur, you're going to have creative pharmaceutical industry that can address these problems, and biotech industry that can address these threats.